So very well, I'm going to show you what is inside of one of these pumps. This is a air compressor pump that is oilless. And what it means, it doesn't have any oil anywhere, so everything is kind of dry. And if you have one of these and it's not working properly, I'm going to show you what is inside so you can try to repair it yourself. And the first thing I have to do is just remove this fan shroud. There's a couple of screws here on the sides, just remove them. And then the fan. Once you remove that, there is a cam and the piston connecting rod inside there. Let me show you. So it is an eccentric cam that holds a bearing, and when it rotates, then it moves the bearing in an eccentric way, moving the connecting rod, up and down, side to side, so the piston will move up and down. So the first thing I'm going to do before I remove this, I'm going to remove the head. Very well, so if I remove the head, I need a hex wrench. I think it's a 6mm wrench, but I'm not positive of that. And since this is an oilless compressor, it's pretty clean. There's no mess when you take it apart. The advantage of a oilless compressor is that the airflow that you create is not contaminated with oil vapors. It's a lot clean air, or a lot cleaner air. It doesn't have any smells, oil smells. So you loosen all those screws or bolts, and then you can remove the head. Now these pipes connect one head to the other, and they just come apart because they're sealed with an O-ring. How do you remove the bolts first? Remove them and take them out. There's 6 bolts. Now remove them. Now I can undo the head. Now these little pipes connect the 2 chambers that go to the same chamber type. So this is the pressure chamber. So it's a pressure chamber here, and the suction chamber is here, so it's over here. So now this is just nothing in it. It's being held, the pressure is being held by an O-ring that is probably a silicone based O-ring that makes all the seal. Just gonna set this on the side. This is the air filter, so this suck through here. And now this is intermediate plate where the reed valves are. As you can see, when the piston goes up, these reed valves will push up and get the pressure on this side of the chamber. And when the piston is going down, it sucks the air in to be able to, get full of air and then compress it. So the reed valves are on this side. So this is the intermediate plate here. Also, it's got an O-ring here of the same silicone material. We're gonna put it on the side. And here is just this is just a separator sleeve. As you can see, the fans are on towards the top, so the air will circulate from the fan all the way to the top. And we're gonna set this on the side. And this is the piston sleeve. As you can see here, the piston goes up and down. And let me remove the cylinder sleeve. There you go. There's nothing to it. So the cylinder sleeve is got this coating of some special material. It's probably Teflon, like in your cooking pans, something like that. So it's resistant to high temperature. And this is a little bit scratched out here. It still works. So I just it was this way, and I just put it that way, so the good part is on the top. And this piston has got a connecting rod fused together with the piston. So every time the piston goes up, it leans a little bit. When it goes to the other side, it leans a little bit, but since it's so thin, it leans just a little bit, and it doesn't affect the seal of the piston ring. In this case, is some sort of membrane that goes in between the top part of the piston and the bottom part of the piston here. This is a solid piece. Now let me go ahead and remove the bearing and the connecting rod. For that, I need another hex wrench. Oh, first of all, I need to undo the connecting rod from the bearing, and I'll show you that in a minute. So I need to get on the side here. There's a hole that you can stick the wrench in it, so you can reach the nut. Then you just loosen it up, and now I can loosen up the cam. So I'm gonna line up, probably this side is better. End up the hole where the set screw. So here is where you might make a mistake, because it does have two set of set screws, not only one. So if you take this outer set screw and try to pull that eccentric, then it's going to be very tough to do, because it's still got the set screw. Ask me why I know that. So in this case, there's two set screws, but I lost one, so I didn't put it in there. So that's why it doesn't have one right now. But let me go ahead and take this one off, the eccentric, and separate it from the bearing. Now this is the cam that I'm talking about, and here's where the two set screws go. There's a set screw, and it's supposed to be one holding that one, but I lost it somewhere. I had to dig for it on the floor there. But this is a big bearing, and that hooks up to the connecting rod here. So that's why it doesn't need any oil. Now this connecting rod piston assembly is just a single piece, and then there's another part here on the top that it's got a screw, and then you separate the top of the piston, so you are able to change the membrane, because those membranes are available on Amazon. So this is a cup here, and it's just a little piece here that is replaceable, and you had to like line it up. It goes only one way, because don't ask me why I know. It's got a little square indentation here to be able to accept where is it? The reed valve here. It's got a screw, and the screw is protruding. So if you put it in the wrong way, like this, then it hit the top of the piston there. See how it's indented, or is marked, because it was backwards. So this is gonna have to go that way, so it will go into the screw, and then it won't damage anything. But this is a big hole here that you can like lean it and then get it inside, and then that's how it goes. Alright, so this is all there is to it. In this case, I'm not gonna put the bearing back in it, because The problem that I have with this compressor is I got a small motor. It's a 1/2 horsepower, and I need probably around a 2 horsepower motor to power these two pumps. So for the moment, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna assemble any of the moving parts there. I'm just gonna assemble this part here, so I can actually seal the chambers from this other piston using the same chamber here, because I'm going to install a plug here with a penny and a piece of rubber, and I'm just gonna seal the high pressure part, or the high pressure side. So I want to use only one of these compressor heads, so my motor will be powerful enough to actually pump the pressure that I need. Otherwise it draws too many amps. So let me put this together. And now why am I doing this? It's because the motor that is included here on this type of compressor burned out, and I didn't want to scrap the whole thing, so I figured that I could modify it enough to be able to put a motor on the side, and I had to fabricate a little piece here so I could attach this part of the shaft on the other side to be able to attach a pulley and then drive the whole shaft, the whole mechanism and pistons and everything with the belt. So that's why I did it. But if you have an air pump like this one, then you know, you need to fix the rings or the reed valves because it's not pumping anymore. Then you know how to do it. You don't have to worry about this other stuff. I mean, it's already got a motor in it. And the good thing about these machines is they're pretty quiet. And with this is quite a big 2-piston machine or pump that is probably pretty quick to air up a tank. In this case, well, I don't have the capacity on the motor to be able to do that. So temporarily, while I buy a 2 horsepower motor and adapt it here, then I just use this 1/2 horsepower motor just to, you know, make it work. Because this motor is supposed to draw 8 amps and it's drawing a lot more than that when I have the 2 heads working. So I'm gonna put it together here and test it and see how many amps is drawing like that. All right, so I got nothing here. I'm not even gonna put the fan on it right now. And let me go ahead and plug in the motor and show you the amperage on what I'm talking about. Okay, so I got it plugged in. Let me turn it on. And it's drawing 8 amps, 8.4. It probably goes up to 10 amps once the pressure goes up farther. Right now it's around 50 psi. This side is not getting hot at all. This side is. All right, so this is it. So what do you think? Is this something that you might consider buying, an air pump like this? This air pump is a 220 volt, 60 hertz, 7 amps, 1 phase, 3 wire, 1680 RPM. So it's a big pump. The motor, you know, being a good buying one of these brand new, I'm considering, because I really like it. It's quiet. I had to power it with this thing because I had to power with that thing because I had no other choice, and I wanted to see if I could do it. Now another thing that I can do, I can get me a 2 horsepower motor, bigger one, and connect it here. The problem that I have here is that it's riding on rubber and rubber feet, so the tension on the belt is not being properly tensioned because it's you know, the rubber feet are given here. So I need to set this on a solid surface, and it's going to be vibrating a little more. It's just a Frankenstein thing. But if you have a motor and pump, it's hot here, a motor and pump that is brand new, then I mean, it works real good. They're around $250 on Amazon, so maybe it's worth the investment. I like it. What do you think? You want to buy one of these for yourself? Just buy the whole compressor. Probably be easier and cheaper. How much are they? Probably around $300 or $400. Who knows? So this is going to be all for this video. I hope you learned something about these Oilless pumps and how the pistons and connecting rod work. And if you need to replace the membranes, then it's nothing to it, and it's no mess, no oil. So it's doable. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.